The game might be over, but we're just getting started. Welcome to the Todd Fox Post-Game Podcast.
Yo, you see him in the stand swinging left to right. Red kick stomping, keeping vibes so tight. Cameras flashing, yeah, the fans wanna pose. Monkey going wild, got the whole crowd froze. Let's go, let's ride, throw them halos high. Ain't no quit, we bring that fire. Rally Chris, yeah, he got that spark. Turn this park into a party after dark. Jump, jump, Rally Chris in the zone. Turn it up, let him know. Monkey business now, we don't play. We all getting loud down at the big game. From the bleachers to the field, yeah, the hype don't stop. Got that energy electric, man, we taking it up. Running bases with the rhythm, yeah, we keeping it strong. Every pitch, every hit, yeah, we rallying on. Wave 'em high, stomp that ground. Rally Chris is in your town. Jump, shout, make some noise. Monkey energy, let's deploy. Deploy.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
I pressed the wrong intro right there. Hey, welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield post-game podcast. And I've got to warn you guys and gals in advance, if your speakers are up too high, if your phone volume's too high, you might want to turn it down a little bit. I'm going to rant, I'm going to yell, I'm going to scream. This game really pissed me off tonight because this is one that you let get away. And it's very young in the season, but I am not AM 830. We are not AM 830. We're for the fans, by the fans. So if we're going to be loud and obnoxious, I'm going to be loud and obnoxious. And just like you would in the stands or at home, because unlike other podcasts that don't go to games, don't even live in the same county, I do, and I do on both of those. And I'm a very passionate fan, as are you. And when you see a shit performance like this tonight against a team, again, that we're so hungry for winning, we want to measure up against them. We want to show that we can fight with teams like this. And if you look at the bare minimum of, if you want to look glass half full, I should say, on Jackie Robinson Day, you'll say to yourself this. And by the way, before I get into my rant, I have something serious to talk to you guys and gals about, or at least put past you guys midway through this show. So stay tuned for that. I have something to pass along that is also near and dear to my heart that I need to get off my chest. But right now, what I'm going to get off my chest is the fact that Kikuchi has pitched in 4 games. And granted, some of you may not like the fact that he's walked 8 in his previous 2 starts before this. But if you look at the runs that he's allowed, if you as a starter, he's not an ace at all. And I'm tired of hearing that he's our ace. He's an ace only by air quotes, and that's it. He's got good enough stuff to be a good, an average 2 and a good 3, but he's no ace. But the fact that he's given you performances of 4 runs or less in 4 straight starts, including tonight, 1 run on 3 hits, and your ass team can't do nothing about it. Here's how I'll start. The Angels came in very clearly looking to take strikes from the opposing pitcher. They were not under the impression that the Rangers would be throwing first pitch strikes and second pitch strikes. They looked at a lot of early pitches that they could have been aggressive. Now, if you look at the only Nimrod who was, I guess they decided not to throw fastballs to, that was Taylor Ward. And as a leadoff guy, you got to set the tone for the rest of the lineup. Taylor Ward was ass with a capital A tonight. He was terrible. And so many opportunities in this game for the Angels to score at least a run or 2 to get this team off to a good start or to set the tone. But when you have a guy who is inept as what is it called? It's the worst hitter on the team, who can't set this stage, who should be batting 7th, like we've been saying all year. But before I even get to him, they were throwing first pitch strikes. I keep going sidetracked. I'm sorry. And Male, whatever you want to say his name, I can never, Mahala, whatever. He threw first pitch strikes. And this is a guy that tops out at about 94 miles per hour. Once he got ahead of most of these batters, and once it was the 4th inning and he had 7 strikeouts, I knew we were in trouble. because he got ahead of these batters and then immediately went to the changeup and the split finger, and they couldn't hit it. They just couldn't hit it. It was pathetic. And you would think, but then you see any other competent team would switch up their strategy second, third time through the lineup. Not the Angels. No, not the Angels. Same approach every time. And they look at the umpire like, oh my God, he threw another strike down the middle. Oh my God, they're giving the corners. You've already seen it. It's like my old manager used to tell me when I played high school baseball, when I got drafted, or not drafted, but when I walked on with the Pirates, same thing. They would tell me, all right, man, second time through, you've seen it. You know what's coming. You know pretty much what the repertoire is, because by the time you've gone up a second time, you've seen all the other guys if you've been paying attention. You have tablets, which they didn't have in my day. So you could cheat and look at every pitch. You can go back to certain scenarios, everything. You can bust out the horny stat cast that those nerds love. You can do all that shit. But no, not the Angels. We're going to do what we call stand pat. So they are literally giving you the same formula outside of Taylor Ward, because they know Taylor Ward is trying to kill first pitch fastball. What do they do with him? Oh, they throw sliders, they throw changeup and split fingers. And he can't hit. He's super ultra aggressive for a leadoff guy, and I'm doing air quotes. He is nowhere close to being a leadoff guy. So you say, well, Taylor Ward had a hit tonight. Who gives a shit with nobody on? Before he grounded into, and he almost got thrown out. I mean, he was terrible out there. I mean, terrible. You want to know the epitome? If you want to say, hey, man, what does a lazy outfielder look like in Major League Baseball? Is there such a thing, Todd? Oh, yes. Number 3 who plays left field. Jogging slow as fuck to the ball, number 1. Bobbling the ball twice. How they took the air away from him, I don't know. And then on a play where he should have made a catch against the wall, and just lets it hit the wall. Dude, you should have caught that. You're a major league hitter. You're out there in batting practice, everything. You should know where the wall's at. You should feel it. If anyone's ever played baseball, I can't ask a certain podcast because they've never done it. But if anyone's ever played baseball and there's a warning track, there's a side track, it's a different surface compared to grass and turf. You can feel the difference as you're stepping on it. So you should be able to get a good, and if you have your right hand out there feeling for the wall, there's no problem. If that ball's in play, you should make the catch. Just ask Mike Trout the other night when he judged the wall perfectly. And that's a guy who's never played right field up until this year. And he looks like a freaking all-star. Taylor Ward looks like he's never done it before. Yet he's been corner outfielder for years now when he's not hurt. My God, Kikuchi gives you an ace start, which he's not an ace, against a Texas team who's been pretty anemic themselves. And you almost have more errors than hits. You don't adjust against the pitching at all tonight. Same approach, every batter, doesn't change. And this game started shitty when we found out that Logan O'Hoppe is still freaking partaking in Taco Bell. Mr. Hershey squirts again. Remember, he was sick 2 or 3 times last year. He won't lay off the Nacho Bel Grande or the Chalupa. One of the two with a ground beef that has tofu in it is making our boy squirt and not spritz. He's squirting. So he has to take the night off. And again, the analytic nerds, the gods above the stadium, rain down their prophetic stuff on these stones that Ron Washington comes down from the hills of the 500 section and comes down with the tablets for the lineup. And for some ungodly reason, we decide when Moncada's healthy, the guy couldn't hit in fucking Chicago. How's he supposed to hit fucking here? Let's put him 5. Great idea. And so when Moncada hits the IL and you can't use Hershey squirts, you put Darno in there, who clearly has not found a rhythm yet, who clearly can barely play defense even. He looks lost at the plate. And let's just have him protect Soler and Trout. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of fucking sense. Why isn't Shonawell batting 5th? Why isn't freaking God damn it, his name? Why isn't Paris hitting 6th and 5th? Why? Why are we not using our hot hitters to protect the other power hitters? I don't get it. It's like, oh, we have 2 power hitters back to back. Let's put an easy out right behind them. How does that make sense? Can someone explain that to me? It's not like Ohapi left the game because he squirted himself in the first inning, squatting to try to get Kikuchi's first pitch, and he took a shit on himself. No, he was not planning to play. So that means you don't have to put d'Arnaud in 5. You can move him down. They did not have to substitute, and d'Arnaud was stuck there. Why? Dude, tell me what analytics tell you, Ron, or tell the rest of the team, yeah, that makes sense. So right there, you're already killing yourself, punching yourself in the gut, or just slicing a toe off because it doesn't make any sense. You're already handicapping yourself before first pitch. And then again, Malawi, Mawai, whatever. Milana is not that good of a pitcher. And yet we make him look like Nolan Ryan. See, it's games like this that will turn the casual Angel fans who are like, hey, Rick told me at work that the Angels are 9-6. Isn't that great? Rick told me, and I think I'm going to start watching. And then that guy who hears it from Rick turns on FanDuel, and they're like, do. And then you get in the game, and you're watching the Angels do jack shit for 9 innings. And then you're like, hey, Rick's wrong. This team sucks. So any chance of getting any of the old casuals back, they actually start to believe because in 15 games, you're 9-6. You look halfway decent. You tune in, and then you give us this slop to watch. It's a terrible baseball game. Errors. Taylor Ward was garbage tonight. I mean, garbage, dude. And you watch, his ass will be right back in the number 1 slot the rest of the series. So we're talking Jackie Robinson on a night where there's hustle, by Texas, bunt single, which led to a run because bad throw to second base. You had, just it was unbelievable tonight. The Rangers channeled their inner Jackie Robinson in a couple times. Nice defensive plays. Pilar. I think there was another nice catch against Adele when he hit one to the gapper that should have been a run. And then you bring up, let's talk about Mike Nelson Trout, shall we? Mike Nelson Trout got to second base on a stolen base. Now, let me tell you guys something. Again, I will go back and take shots at other podcasts who've never played the game before. When you're the runner at second base, on any level. You can even chalk this up to softball because some of these shitheads don't play softball either. But if there's a ground ball up the middle and you're at second base with a lead, you truck your ass to third. Now, I understand if there's a line drive. Yes, you want to check back with second just because you don't know where the second baseman is, relation to the ball. You don't know where the shortstop is, relation to the ball. That ball was on the ground from the batter's box. And it was a real fast ground ball. You could tell it was a ground ball. I don't know if he had too much sex, according to my father, but Mike Trout, what the hell are you doing, my guy? You're supposed to be at third and then walking home on that ground ball. Right there, it's 1-0. Again, you could tell me later, well, the Rangers got a run, so it canceled itself out. You don't know. If the Angels score that first run, the complexity of the entire inning changes. Everything changes. The strategy all the way down the line changes, so you don't know. That game could have totally went our way, and we could have won 3-0, 4-0, but we'll never know. But that's runs it as a bad baseball team, as a stupid-ass, I rely on everything analytics team. You need to take advantage when you actually get some shit going your way. You cannot be running yourself out of an inning. You can't be making errors. This team is not good enough to make up for errors and also base running blunders and bad at bats. It just can't. And I'm not saying they have to be perfect, but 11 strikeouts again with base running blunders and errors, and they're damn lucky to have only lost 4-0. That is the straight truth. They should have lost by a lot more. I mean, this is a pathetic performance. And again, I can't put this on Kikuchi because his stuff was there tonight. You give up 1 run and 3 hits. And then so Trout runs himself out of the inning. It's first and third. You still have 2 chances to get it. But guess what happens? The old Travis d'Arnaud comes up after Soler is at first base with that single. Travis d'Arnaud comes up and he strikes out. And then Shonawell looks at 2 pitches. Again, they're throwing first and second pitch strikes all night long. And you sit there and you look at the 2 and you're all, can't swing. And then the third one should have been strike 3. He gets a break. The 4th pitch is you know for a fact it's a split finger. You've seen it all night. And he's all, dude, I didn't know the ball was going to dip so hard. What the hell was in the dirt? It was like Bell Hyde was in the dirt and it was good. Shonawell crying. Bro, what happened? And then Detmers comes in a situation where you're like, okay, finally they're using him right. But wait a minute. You don't need to go to him. And guess what happens in that 7th inning after Kikuchi's only thrown 79 pitches, doesn't look tired at all. Now you go with Reed Detmers against 4 out of 5 right-handers. Only 1 switch hitter. How does that make sense? Again, analytics, overthinking, stupid nerds. It's the same shit. Why do you go to a left-hander to then benefit the right-handed hitters? Please explain that to me. Please explain that to me. That doesn't make a lick of fucking sense. Because the starter was locked in. Even if he's facing right-handed pitchers, fine. Or hitters, fine, go for it. He's already seen them. He's gotten them out several times. No, let's go with another left-hander that throws slow and a lot of curveballs that benefit the right-handed hitters. No, you should have went with Zephyr John. You had plenty. You could have thrown Johnson right there. Nah, let's go with Detmers. Put him in a bad situation. And again, when Wayne actually makes a point, when he's not humdinging his spritzer clock all over the place, talking about who's going to hit a home run, instead of talking about starting a rally, Wayne actually makes a great point. If you caught that in the 7th inning, he makes a great point. You know, and I quote, Ron Washington really needs to explain after this game what his motive was for taking out So Kikuchi. He only had 70, and as he was going to say, 79 pitches. Gooby's like, I'm getting the wire from the truck. Hey, the launch angle on that double was tough for Ward to get. He came off his bat at 109 miles per hour. Hey. And Randazzo gets drowned out by Mark Gubazov. And then when the Angels made an error, they come back with, hey, Jackie Robinson. Hey. I am beat down, and it is 16 games into the season. I want to see good baseball. The last 2 games have not been good baseball. I have PTSD from last season, from watching this shit go on and on and on and no changes. I don't understand why we don't have any kind of media. Even Sam Blum got his freaking press pass revoked because he was the only guy asking questions that actually matter. Like Wayne's question, Ron, what was your theory in taking out, the left-hander and then putting in another left-hander that throws slower that benefits the right-handed hitters? What was your thinking in that? Who told you to do that? Did you make that decision yourself? All valid questions that won't be asked. Instead, we're going to be, hey, when's Christmas in June? Are you looking forward to seeing the Chewbacca at Star Wars weekend? Hey, how about that Millennium Falcon? Can't wait till we get home again. Dude, again, you're not going to win every night. You're going to have some blowout losses. I get it. But I want to see better performances against arch rivals, supposedly arch rivals, or at least in division games. You got to show up better than this. You really do. I felt they showed signs against Houston, but Not really. In game 1 and 3, they just fell back into bad ways. And then this game, again, is a carbon copy of copy and paste from any kind of shit game in August and September. Listen, I'm no Halo honk at all. I'm trying to see this world, this team, half glass full, half glass empty, whatever. But I'm trying to give them credit because I do see changes from last year. It's just the problem I've said is go 1-0. You can't do that, fine. But at least try to look good while you're losing. Try to be competitive while you're losing. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't give the other team all kinds of chances. Don't play into their game. If they're hitting fly balls and Pilar's making those nice catches, or the outfielder's making the nice catch in center field, Tavares running one down, fine. If they make great plays, good pitching performances, if the Angels are trying different things, bunting, sacrificing, stuff like that, I'm fine if they lose. I truly am. I promise you. If the score was the same, but they had less errors and they were more into it, I'm telling you, it would be the same. But when you are putting a shit performance up there and you're like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it's just there's no good at change in your approach when you really see the game for what it is. Why is it that fans like us can catch on and be like, hey, well, you got to look at the tendencies. How come I don't see the talking amongst the players again? We're still swinging for the fences. Come on, guys. Switch it up a little bit. This one was a tough one, dude. This is probably, I think this is next level to the White Sox. I mean, who would have thought that the Angels are going to win that game anyway in Chicago? They were going to find a way to lose that game, and I'm fine with that. Whatever. They took 2 of 3, mission accomplished, right? But I had more faith, or I was looking to this Texas two-step as a barometer on how this team is going to look when they come home against a very, very, very good early Giants team and a very, very scrappy, you better not take them for granted, Pittsburgh Pirates team. I watched a game the other night where they were just dinking and doinking the other team to death. No exit velocity on those Pirates swings. They had 13 hits. None of them were, hey, they were hit 150 miles. No, they weren't. They were hit like 30 to 50 miles per hour off the bat. And guess what? They scored 9 runs on 15 hits. So don't give me that shit about the exit velocity. Don't give me that shit about the launch angle. They didn't hit 1 home run in that game. So you got to worry about things like that. And I always say take one game at a time, but I just like glanced ahead and was like, at the home stand isn't going to be all roses, and it's not going to be easy. So let's see what they do in the Texas two-step. I'd be really happy if we went 3-3, if we went 4-2. Man. Oh, this game really pissed me off tonight, dude, if you can't tell already. Before we get into the awards, I have some bad news to pass along. And I just want to say, and I'm going to make a post about it. I talked with a family the other day, and I want to give my condolences to, you knew her on Instagram and other things as Love the Stacks, Yvette Villa. She passed away, 32 years old. Very, very vibrant, happy-go-lucky girl, family girl, very sweet. She was one of the original people that jumped on and found us, as far as Halos in the Infield when we started. Met her in person several times, always supported us. She was on a lot of Angel pages. You probably seen her at times. She's 32 years old. And the way she passed away, I'm not at liberty to release those details, but I just will say it was not just she had her life taken way too young. It just goes back to what I gotta say. There's no PSA or nothing. I'm not one to talk. It's just when you love somebody, make sure you tell them that you do. Family, it's tough losing somebody like that. And I considered her and a lot of you out there as family to the Heedy movement and to also the Angels. Angel fans are pretty tight knit. There was another fan that we knew, Sandy, that passed away just last week of complications to something. And now Yvette passes away. She was a sweetheart. She won a lot when we did the trivia and games like that and stuff like that. So rest in peace to her family. We're going to probably do something for her coming up here soon. So I just wanted to let you guys and gals know out there, she will be missed. She's been on the chat here. She's one of those that she would watch the post game, watch all her podcasts, check out other pages. So she just wasn't on here. But she was in the comments, and then when she wasn't commenting, she was watching the show. Very rabid fan. She was at the red carpet. So she will be missed. We'll have more on that. And so that was pretty tough. And I think that's what had me in a shitty mood today. It was hard to go to work because when you hear the circumstances, it sucks. It really does. So that being said, dude, I just want to say rest in peace to Yvette, and let's switch it up here because I know she wouldn't want me to be dragging on with this and giving her much attention. She was definitely one that was not all about the attention. That's for sure. Very low key, but very knowledgeable, very awesome, super fan of the Angels, and she will be missed. So let's get back to the show. We didn't buttercup this one. We lost from first pitch to last pitch. So brought to you in part by 714 Tickets. If you want to get ticket deals to any game, whether it's NBA, whether it's NHL, Major League Baseball, you name it, they got it. You can get 10% off in the promo code at the end by just mentioning HITI. Sign up today, and you get that 10% off plus 5% towards your next purchase. So let me play the losing slide. Sorry. Yeah, season does start tonight. I think I have to be animated as I get into the Nacho Night Award to bring up the mood a little bit better here. It's hard to move on from that, but I had to bring that up while we had the most people in here at the time. So with that being said, let's get into the John Stamos Award for the best performance on the field. The John Stamos Award for best player on the field, I think you have to give it to the starting pitcher, Maui, whatever. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 0 runs, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. He was the best player on the field. Kevin Pillar, former Angel, batting .350. Remember last year when we didn't play him? Remember when he was the hottest hitter and we needed runs and we didn't play him? Remember when he was doing everything right, making outfield plays and being the best guy in the clubhouse and we didn't play him? Yeah, he's back to hitting right now and being the go-between for their next superstar on the rise. 2 for 4 tonight. Way to go to him, too. He gets a little bit of that Stamos. Look at our lineup tonight. Wow, what a studded lineup right here. Taylor Ward, awesome, 1 for 4. Great defense. Louis Renifo, 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts. Mike Nelson Trout, 2 strikeouts and a walk, 0 for 3. 2 for 3 for Soler. That's great. He's up to almost 300. Oh, Travis d'Arnaud, he's the perfect replacement for Hershey Squirts. 3 strikeouts. Then you got Shonawell, 0 for 4 and a strikeout. Kyron Paris, 1 for 3. You have Joe Adell, 1 for 3. 11 strikeouts. Good job tonight. They went 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position, left 6 on base. Way to fucking go. Good job, people. Good job. Let's talk about who gets the Nacho Night Award.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Dignity's gone, but the cheese survived. Moldy cheese, stale chips, what a sight. All your dreams gone tonight.
The Nacho Night Award goes to, I think you know, and that is Taylor Ward. I think Taylor Ward is garbage. Again, 5 home runs, guys. Everyone's happy with his home runs. Everyone says, oh, Taylor Ward. Again, Taylor Ward is what he is. He will finish with 25 to 27 home runs. He will finish with 74 to 80 RBIs this year. He will finish with a 220 to 240 average, somewhere in that range. But he will also finish with goddamn nearly 100 strikeouts. He will hit into more than 20 double plays this year. He can't run, does not play an active left field at all, has a noodle arm. This guy is not deserving of that left field corner spot. And again, when we saw Santander out there on the free agent wire, why wasn't he not made a move for? I have no idea. He would have fit in great. I would have loved to have Santander out there. Hell, I would love to have Adele in left and Kyron Paris in center and not even play Ward. I'm over this guy. I am so over this guy because at least with Adele, you have good defense. You have hustle when he gets on. I have faith in his bat will finally get going at some point this season. But I don't have faith in Ward anymore. He's so super streaky. I'm tired of it, dude. I am so tired of it. It's over with. Like, if we need to make additions by subtractions, can we trade him, please, at the deadline? Please? I don't know the obsession with this Angels organization and Taylor Ward. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And he deserves every bit of the nachos. He was terrible tonight. Absolutely terrible. Let's get into your comments as we're going to get through all of them tonight. Ricky Rios over on X says, I'm not sure how you've even saw any of the QR code covering half the screen the whole time. That's true. Dan says, spritz and sucking, baby. And, well, I guess what? It's spritz o'clock no matter what.
Spritz o'clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more. Spritz o'clock, let's pour some more.
Again, oh shit, here we go again. No, he beat you to it this time again. Dan got you with that one, but we'll give you this.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Yeah, I'm right. Oh no, we suck again, Andrew Johnson. That's the problem.
Oh no! We suck again!
I want people to believe. I want to believe in this team, but when you go out there and you play like this, it's hard to stick with it. I don't care who's pitching. If you don't score, it won't matter. Amen to that. Demetrio says, Ron Washington's such a bonehead sometimes. I hate Ward. The fuck is that? Mario says, damn, Dan, you're supposed to be horny. And he means this right here.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny, and me love you long time.
Dan Rio says Stuka's backwards. Also, Mario says Angels lost focus and fell apart through the 7th and 8th inning. Rally Chris says this series in Houston confirms losing to the Astros, then getting shut out for the first time this year. That Rendon did show up and curse the team again. Dan says, yeah, Demetrio, I wonder if he gets fired if they have this losing streak, let's say June. Also, you have right there Taylor Ward, get off this team now. Sapphire says, wake me up when we are in October. Nick says, feels like the offense from last year's is back, and that's the problem. I'm getting PTSD. Frederick says, is Trout's average below the Mendoza line? You're damn right it is. Right now, Mike Nelson Trout is sitting at 186. Dan says, hey, can stay grill, just not leading off. Mario says, Trout obviously not used to the running with on bases or runners on bases. Q Lombardi. And that's the problem. This dude isn't getting any kind of singles. He's just trying to hit home runs right now.
What the hell's going on out here?
Mayor 20 says, why is Kikuchi getting pulled after 79 pitches, and why do they have a slow-ass Ward running? Most of these losses and Angels have been on this year because of Ron Washington. Nick House says, this is the Angels team that I know so well, and that's the problem that's depressing. DFAing everybody's Grill Masters thing. Ward has no place in this team. He sucks. He doesn't do anything meaningful, according to Matt Grillmaster. Also, I'd rather have Pilar in left field, Ward stumbling and bumbling ass, Q Lombardi bobbling balls for a veteran.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, Eddie Perez says 100-game losing streak coming. Also, Marty says, I blame this loss on Farkas and Grildo. Midapi says, I fell for it again. I never had hope, except I was delusional once again. Yes. And I just want to have a winning record in April. Please, for the love of God, Angels. And I can't stand Mally. Dealt with his family when my kids were playing. Their parents are assholes. Eddie Perez says it was good while it lasted. Sapphire says fix the lineup, get Neto back, and I don't give a fuck. Give me Mike Sosha back. Torrey Hunter was in the dugout. Was he motivating the guys or just talking about Jackie Robinson and this team collapsing? Dude, I'm telling you, he did nothing. And he didn't look motivated. I love Torrey Hunter, but that's not the Torrey Hunter I'm used to seeing right there. Looking monotone and just spaced out. You know, Torrey Hunter should have been rallying and hitting these guys, butt slapping them, anything. James Gonzalez says, now that was a bullshit baseball, what I call bullshit baseball. Buttercup season, Eddie Perez says. Also, Fernando says, absolutely terrible game to attend in person. I will be in Arlington again on Thursday, and I will be in Anaheim the following Thursday. I swear to our God, Roger Lodge, I better see some defense. Grillmaster says, season over. Fuck! Looks like the Honks get secured back in their pants. Yes, it's time to go. What's it called? It's time to not stroke the wang. Send Ward to Siberia right there. James says blame number 42. I mean Tim Anderson, DFA. J714 says team is losing steam. I think the lineup should be shaken up a bit. Put Renifo, Paris, and Trout to start the three off. I agree, but we'll see Ward again tomorrow. Mario says we'll be lucky to get one in Texas. Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
I want to break something right there. Demetrio says, not a fan of Tim at short. Tyler says, that's it. We done. Saucy says, this team totally like total fucktards, total defense miscues, and lazy play. This looks like last year's team. Also, Tyler says, balls, and beating ourselves. Yeah, that was that was too much.
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and
Also, Marty says, agree with Mario. We ain't winning one in Texas. I miss Pilar. Jesus says, not enough offense can lead to a lot of last season losses. J174714 says, also, I feel bad Kikuchi got the loss after a good start. It was a great start for him. Jason Hess checks in from right field. He was there also with Fernando and a few other people. He says, I'm here. James Gonzalez says, number 42 is overrated. Clemente is better. Whoa, hot take right there. Tyler says, seeing Pilar was like seeing an old friend. Frederick says, analytics doesn't believe in situational hitting. Yes, agree. Get these guys some live pitching after the game, and how can you be professional swinging and hitting? Mario says, Angels are racist. They hate winning on Jackie Robinson's day. Just kidding. Jason S. says he's driving home from the stadium. Las Vegas says, what happened to the Halo Honks? They put them away. See, Bouncy said, Bochy said, you ain't winning shit out here, Washington. We run the West. LV says, fuck this. The season starts tonight. Don't worry about it, baby. We're still in first place, kind of, sort of.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Eric Ward says, Darnold should never play more than one game a week. He is awful. Dude can't even throw out a base runner in a blue moon. Why does Ron refuse to play small ball in close games like this? I don't know. There were situations where they had the leadoff guy on and refused to bunt with a guy who's used to bunting. The Bally's was not able to say, or not Bally's, what do you call it? The FanDuel was not able to say, hey, this guy doesn't have that many times up there and bunting in his career, so he can't bunt. No, it's like, no, you had Ward at first and you had Renifo. You could have bunted, but they were like, no. While the other team was doing it. And by the way, did you guys hear this a couple times tonight too? There was like 2 or 3 of those. It was crazy. Let's see. Also, let's get back to some of these comments because there's a hell of a lot of them, and it, for some reason, scrolled all the way down. Let's see. Oh, so here we go. I already read that one. James says Ward is soft. Noodle arm ran like spiraled spaghetti. Patrick Carrillo checks in with, I know how to cheer you up. Todd, balls in my house. He mean mouth. Still need a better lineup and roster correct wash. Dump the analytics. I am so for that. Joshua says Kikuchi can't catch a break. He's 0-3. Marty also says Halo honks are honking that Coochie didn't give up that bomb, and he didn't, but he still lost. We need Boo Boo Bear's mommy to drop a $50 tip for Todd to rip that shirt off. No, we don't need that. Darno looking like a massive overpay. Mario says season starts in 2026. Rally Chris says rest in peace, Yvette. Sorry, the Angels did not win to honor you right there. Yeah, I got to that right now. Travis Darno is trash. This lineup does need a shake up. Definitely miss this dude being Pilar. Also, you have someone give Todd a yummy tasting nut before he explodes. Let's check in on the show. Maybe we could take a break. I could take a drink while he's letting us know what's really going on in the game.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
James and Lou says balls, and Darno sucks. He does suck right now. Again, I would love for this dude to turn around. I'd love for him to get good, but he's not very good right now. So why is he
Time
fifth?
for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John
Darno sucks. Also, trade Mike Trout. He can't get a hit right now, dude. Ah, shit. Here we go again. Yeah, we played that one. Let's see. You get an air. Play FanDuel.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Yep. Mike Trout says, I had too much sex last weekend. That's why I suck all week. Useless Trucker says, a man saw a baseball getting bigger and bigger. Then it hit him. Balls, and I suck. Also, Eric Ward says, Washington just said in the post game that he has nowhere else to put Darno in the lineup. That's some bullshit. If he were snorting cocaine in front of me and he told me, no, I'm not snorting a cocaine, I would believe that over him telling you right now that Darno, he has nowhere to put him. So he could be snorting a mountain of freaking cocaine in front of me, and I'd say, yeah, he's not snorting cocaine. He tries to run the Darno line next to me, and I'm like, no, sir. You are lying. What do you mean you can't put him anywhere else? Put him on a flight to China. You could do that. It's as easy as taking a Sharpie and scratching him off on the 5 spot, right? And then penciling him in or Sharpieing him in at 9. What about if you put Tim Anderson at 5? I would take that. You could easily just put Anderson. The fuck is that? Why'd you have to piss me off, Eric? Danny says they either fight back and win a series or they go back to being the Angels we know and lose this series. It could get ugly very fast. Saucy says, what a bunch of slapdicks. Never thought I'd be begging for Moncada back. At least he walks. Richard says, I'm so sick of hearing Gooby and Randazzo talk about home runs. It's every game. I swear to God, if you've got any kind of other opportunity to go online and freaking look, Manny 666 over there on TikTok. I love Ward, but he runs with ankle weights out there. He does. But I will say this too. I was happy when Darno, but I know he's washed like a hooker back. Oh my God. Useless Trucker says, how dare any Angel player like how bad players like a blanket? They both look like bench warmers, or how bad are the Angel players? Also, we need 8 more Taylor Wards so we can expect nothing like from this ownership. Analytics can't be this stupid. Q Lombardi. What the hell's going on out here? Jesus says, wait, Todd, even if we do score the first run, who's to say we can score more than this offensive challenge line? I don't know. I'm just trying to look and tell you the game would be a little bit different. Richard says they need to take Ward out of the leadoff spot. Had enough of it. But again, it's just it's too much with the Angels playing the same thing, the home run talk. At some point, we need to mix it up. Silent E says this game was infuriating for more reasons than I can count. We needed that dong tonight. And I'll tell you this, too. If you haven't gone over there and read his articles on Substack, you sure are missing out. He's our writer right there. We're going to have more people joining him soon. But I'm telling you, it's good stuff over there. It really is. Let's see. Also, you have is Artie Moreno friends with the Jets owner, Woody Johnson? They keep doing the same dumb things. Everyone's saying hi right there. Tyler says balls, and a hoppy squirting. Yeah, he's squirting a lot right there.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Squirting. Useless Trucker says, why are the Angels like a pancake? They keep getting battered. Oh, I see what you did there. Robot AIDS checks in with Angels are done. Tyler says, have we heard Todd say myopic yet this year? Not yet. Grillmaster says 9 and 153. Eric says, hey folks, when does the season start? Blind date recap. Welp, from here, no second date. Yeah, he's like, check us out. We're gonna be on Blind Date on your local channel or app. And by the way, the season starts.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
We should have traded Ward when we had a chance, Richard. And by the way, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh really wanted him for whatever reason, and we were like, nah, let's keep him. Oh, Hoppy should try Alberto's instead of Taco Bell. I don't know. Alberto's, have you ever tried their taquitos? Ooh. No bueno. Let's see. Also, just everyone catching up right here. RIP Yvette as well. We're really going to miss her. Who would you rather have right now? That's not even a question right now. Squid had quite the resume, Rally Chris. So it's not Squid. It's believe me, I'll take Darno any day at this point. At this point in the season, is Trout turning into our pool holes? Boy, he's Trout in his own way. What was Papa Fox feeling about the first two games in Houston and losing the first game in Texas? He's feeling the same thing you guys are. And it's not good. It's not good. He's really down on them right now. It's your boy says Santander would have been just another already overpay, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. He's good, but he's not a good long-term contract until he's hurt. True. But I was looking at, first, having him here for a little bit to see what he could do. Let's see. Also, Grill, I hope it's not taking the easy way out. Tyler, it's not. Believe me. This was. I will just say this about Yvette. All due respects to her family, I'm not at liberty to say, but it's nothing natural and it's nothing self-inflicted. So, I'll just put it to you that way. But maybe more details ahead, but it's not my way to say it. It's not for me to say. I'm going to say that I'm going to miss her. And I'm sure a lot of Angels fans will miss her. She was a staple at the stadium, and she was on a lot of pages and in chats, and she was a good person, outside of baseball, very loving to her family. She's a lot of people got to know her and liked her a lot. So she will be missed. Adele using the torpedo bats, Q Lombardi. And then he promptly broke it. Even the torpedo bats don't work. Due to Dell having the torpedo bat and not doing shit, so classic Angels. Also, Mudwater checking in with what is 2 walks in an air and Angel Rally. JT says, I get wearing number 42, but why does it have to be Dodger blue? That's just us being, just like everybody else. We have to copy the rest of the league. The rest of the league wants to rep the Dodgers. I guess we have to too. Also, Chubb says this team needs to listen to Lodge. You get what you you put in. Yeah, I don't think they want to go full on Lodge, because Lodge sounded like this.
Let me tell you something about my guy John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old
balls and running up my butt right now.
You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos
Choked on me.
He was so great.
Apparently so. Also, Matt Thice says, someone calling for me to be back. I could do better than Darno. Get me out of Chicago. Andreas says, shout out to FanDuel, constantly blue balling us about Joe Adele hitting a home run previous Jackie Robinson day, like he was going to do something. That's all they got. It's like, let's not show exciting games where the Angels scored runs by hitting the gaps and stuff like that. No. Let's show solo blast. Ricky says Ward's defense was about on par, but I'm done with Tim Anderson. Jose Ramirez had it right when he knocked his ass out. Woo! Also take Washington on a flight to China as well. James Gonzalez says bunch of lollygaggers. Also, Nick Tate checks in with what a terrible game all around. Jesus Christ. Also, James Gonzalez says Ward speed walks on the field. Patrick Carrill, did you read the article about Anaheim Stadium audit? Very, very, very juicy. I did. Very good. Check it out. And also watch the video that you see on, what is it? It's, what's it good? Brody Brazil has a good one too. Also on TikTok, hopefully Richard C says we can get these next 2 games, but oh my God, horrible performance tonight. You also, well, this is why I don't get excited until 20 games, Boo Boo Bears mommy. Yeah, you really need to, you have your barometer on when you could check in with this team or not. And we're 16 games in, 9-7. Useless Stan account said, or Ulysses Stan account, useless. My bad, dude. On X says Renifo should have gotten the Nacho Night Award. Yeah, but I don't know how you can give it to non-Taylor Ward, dude. Ricky says it's almost time to start wearing brown and yellow. I was hoping I could at least hold off till August. He's like, I'm siding with the Padres already. Mario says, Todd, your image of you on the screen with no eyes is lucky. He doesn't have to watch this travesty of a team. Yep. Trade Ward, trade Detmers. He could get something off of Detmers later. Watch. Also, Boo Boo Bears mommy says, I'm really disappointed that the guys didn't come through with guys on base. They couldn't even get them on base. Let's see. Also, Mike Trout checking with, I saw your last video with the Texas crossover about a new manager. I would prefer Pujols than Bruce as manager. Well, I mean, Pujols and Trout had a pretty good, relationship right there. Ward says, Ward and Washington sit down to pee. Demetrio says, Corey Seager is a nice man. Wish we had him. Don Hammond says, what's the beef with Locked On Angels? The brothers are cool. I listen to them in the morning a lot. Too much to get into, Don. Too much to get into. And I'll just say this. I've let it go. Even though I should, you know what I'm going to do? Since we've already played Yummy Tasting Nut, I think we'll play that for the final time. And we've already played it, so I'm going to kick it out so that way they can say, oh, you guys keep bullying. It's like, no. I'm done with this stuff. Because I've already said my piece, dude. And they're likely going to go back into their hole and just forget about stuff. But I had a laundry list of stuff, and it's just like, come on, man. It is what it is. And I've tried, dude, like, if you've listened to this show for the last 3 years, I've tried to pull this podcast community together, and I just, it's like Rogers said in the soundbite, you get what you get or you get what you put into it, right? And you're supposed to get, if you give respect, you're supposed to get it back. You know what I mean? And when you don't get the respect back, or you don't get like, hey, the truth. Like if they would just be like, hey, we don't want to work with you, we can't work with you, or whatever. Hey, that's fine, cool, no hard feelings, move on. But the stringing along and the empty promises about being there for charity events and other stuff like that, that's not exactly kosher to me. So that's I got into it without getting into it. I didn't get whatever. I shouldn't even said anything, but whatever. Who cares? I don't care. We do things how we want to on this page. Fuck it. I just wish I'm telling you, this team just needs to go back to the basics, to get back on track with the Angel Talk. I'm sick of it at this point. The fact that we cannot drag bunt, we can't go the other way, we can't hit with runners in scoring position, we don't know how to sacrifice. We take, it's so terrible that there's no in-game adjustments. We again, if you've ever played any kind of professional to organized baseball in your life, show of hands out there, if you've been batting once or twice through the same pitcher who's on the mound, and even without a tablet, he's throwing the same kind of stuff. He's mixing his pitches. I get it. If a guy's just got phenomenal stuff, you do the right thing. You tip your cap to him. And you said, okay, it just wasn't our night. And you call it how it is. You tip your cap to them, and that's it. But when it's over and over and over, and you could see at bat after at bat that guys are having the exact same approach, you are helping the pitcher get those outs. You're helping that pitcher have an easier night because you're not doing anything to make his night miserable. I mean, just look how the game changed, or how it could have changed, by having runners at the corners, how they got it. Even though Trout didn't score, you had runners at the corners with every opportunity just to hit a sacrifice fly to get the lead. You want to stay from you obviously know that they're going to try to, and here's why I think Ron dropped the ball in that situation. You have a fast runner at first base, a very fast runner at first base. And you have, in Soler's got speed. There's no way in a tie ball game that they are going to throw down to second. Why wasn't Soler putting more pressure on that Texas pitcher and taking off? And d'Arnaud should know he's going to see stuff in the strike zone, but low. So why is it that we're playing into what they're trying to do by trying to go over aggressive and swing at stuff down in the dirt? Why are we not taking the base that will be clearly given to us? If Soler takes off, what's the worst that's going to happen? So they throw down to second base. Trout should have a pretty big lead at third base, knowing that you can't throw over as a pitcher to third base. So if the catcher makes any kind of real throw, not a pump fake, but any real throw, Trout should make a beeline for home. And with his speed, there's no way that when that throw is caught by Simeon or whoever at second base, Seager, that they're going to make the return throw back to the catcher in time to get that runner. So you would score a run if they took a shot. And if they didn't, they pump fake, Trout retreats back to third, Soler walks to second. Then the inning is now, do we walk d'Arnaud to set the double play back up for Shonowell? Or do we let d'Arnaud, and then d'Arnaud's, his whole mindset will change because now he doesn't have to really look for the ground ball, or he could want the ground ball because you're going to have Trout on contact breaking for the plate. And even if he hits it at a drawn in infield, there's a good chance he could score, or it could squirt through and you get 2 runs. Do you see how I just changed the narrative of the entire inning by making one decision? And that's not even taking into consideration that if the other hitters would change their approach and realize, okay, he's going fastball first on the outside corner if I'm a lefty, fastball outside corner if I'm a righty, first pitch, all right? And then he goes with either a changeup down the middle or changeup away or a split finger away. It's going to be in the strike zone, so I have a chance to attack. Now, I get it the first time around, but the second time around, you should be ready. And even then, you have a third chance to then do it again. But they don't make those in-game adjustments. Baseball is a game of adjustments. You can get burned by overthinking. You can get burned by standing pat and doing the same thing over and over and over. And this game felt like they were doing the same thing over and over and over. When you have an opportunity, did you see how it, just by getting guys on base, how it can affect a pitcher, how it can affect the catcher, the defense, everything changes. The more you can get guys on base, the different the game is. That's why, solo home runs are great. That's great that they have 30 home runs. A lot of those are solo blasts. I mean, again, last year before Trout got hurt, 10 home runs, 14 RBIs. Is that production? With a 210 average? Is that production? Is that really production? Is that really doing what baseball was meant to be? Like when I grew up playing, I mean, you want to talk Texas baseball, talk Juan Gonzalez, juiced or not, Rafael Palmeiro, juiced or not, those guys got hits for the most part. They got their home runs in, but you're talking about guys who hit 30 to 40 homers, drove in 115 to 130 RBIs. When's the last time you've seen an Angels player hit for 100 RBIs, let alone 130? So that just means to tell me Mike Trout right now, when he got that 2 RBI single the other day, was an anomaly. It was not on the norm at all, because he's still got the same uppercut swing. He's still jumping up and striking out with his toe tapping or his right foot up in the air when he strikes out on a high heater. He's just not taking what the pitcher gives him, dude. Just not taking what the pitcher gives him. He's trying to take himself. A lot of times you just got to shorten up your swing. There's a reason why Pete Rose, Tony Gwynn, Ricky Henderson, the list goes on and on and on. You could even throw Pudge Rodriguez in there. Guys who got consistent hits. Miguel Cabrera until the last 5 years of his career. They took what the pitcher gave them. Yeah, they got their home runs, but they shortened up their swing on 2 strikes. How many of our Angel players shorten up their swing on 2 strikes? No, they keep the same approach. They swing wild. They swing heavy. They swing with long swings. They don't it's not rocket science. If you're a right-handed hitter, Joe Adell, Mike Trout. Mike Trout's weakness, fastball up. What's he striking out on everything? Fastball up. Joe Adell, weakness. When he gets down to 0-2, what is it? Slider away, strikes out. What's the weakness on Shonawell? Split finger, change up, down and away, strikes out. So if you know that's the out pitch, you got to train yourself to look at those more than you would the fastballs. You need to work on those in batting practice. That's my whole problem with this team. There's obvious ways to better yourself, and you're not going to fix it overnight. You may not even fix it during the season, but you can improve. You can improve. You can time things better. You can understand that instead of thinking launch angle, think arm angle. Watch video of these pitchers and look at the arm angle, and watch when they throw the pitches that strike out hitters or the pitches that strike you out. And try to get a better gauge of where that arm angle is. Don't stop trying to read the pitch out of the hand. It's disguised so well by starting pitchers in this league. You might be able to pick it off of a freaking reliever, but most starters are very hard to pick up the pitch that's coming. But you can do it by the arm angle and the release point from the arm angle. And I'm really starting to be frustrated here, because I believe that if you were to do your video and study a starting pitcher a couple hours prior to batting practice and put in your time, and then work with the several coaches that we have on hand, you could make a difference in your swing. You could make a difference in your approach, and you could be an absolute better ball player for it. I just... Even if Neto comes back at this point, I mean, do we have enough to change the mindset of this team going forward? I don't know. I just don't know. Jesus says, I'm not an Angel fan, but I support what you do. I appreciate that, Jesse. I really do. I really do. Eric says, I just finished taking a streaming shit, and this is more productive than a turd of this game. You can't polish it either, but let's hope we do bounce back tomorrow. Jason Hess is ready to rant, and I already see a couple of his messages right there. Tyler's welcoming Jesse. Jason Hess says, Texas fans just yelling Angels suck. Fuck, that's one hurts. Airs, and airs. Balls. Ward to ride the pine. Also, Boo Boo Bears Mommy says they need to just put the ball in play. Absolutely. Halo, it's beyond cheesy and fake than a $3 bill. I agree right there. I really agree. That is some manufactured stuff. Also, huge error by Trout, knowing where shortstop was. Huge error. That was a base running blunder for sure. Jay over there on TikTok says this crew is going to be just fine. Neto is coming back this weekend. It depends on where they put him, Jay. It really does. Jay, let's see. Also, I was around a lot of drunk Rangers fans. God, I was pissed off tonight that we lost. J Dog says, "Hey, did you hear? Hey, did you hear about Kevin Pillar? Went to Chaminade High School. I coached him. Yeah, he heard a little bit of that." Jason Hess says Travis Darno is horse shit. Can't even get to his knees. Also, Rally Chris says breaking news: Neto with a homer for the Bees tonight. He's playing all 9 innings. That's good news. Demetrio says the Rangers were absolutely death. That lineup was crazy in the 90s. Let's see. Grillmaster says, Neto, please save us. This team either strikes out or hits solo home runs. And Jay over there on TikTok is echoing what we said earlier. Why the hell do you have Minkata at 5 to start the season? And then when Travis Darno is filling in for Ohapi, he's no Ohapi, but you still got him batting 5th, which makes 0 sense. The homeboy should be batting 9th at least. Texas Sluggers in the late 80s and 90s were no joke, putting up RBI numbers. Juan Gonzalez was putting up 120 to 130. I think he had 146 one year. Jay's Dog says, too much hate, velocity, launch angle, not small ball whatsoever. No small ball. Paris in center, Adele in left possibility. I hope so. And I would take that out any day of the week. Let's see. Also, Acropolis 28 says we need a real leadoff hitter. Ward is not a leadoff hitter. Neto or Paris should lead off. The only problem with Neto is that he can drive in runs. Do you really want another guy up there who can mash and not, not be put into RBI situations? I still think it should be Paris or Renifo. Have Neto number 5. Have him back up Soler, or even put Neto 4 behind Trout. Albert Pujols, Ward is a cancer in left. Albert Pujols checks in with fire on and hire me. Mario says also this team has the same problem the last 10 years, pitching, plain and simple. Well, not necessarily tonight. Tyler says towards the end of the game, I heard Randezzo start talking about being on the long road trip for this team. I was like, bullshit again. Exactly. And then the next thing he's going to say is, hey, it's been a long ride back from the stadium here in Texas to California. We're going to be so tired. The players are going to need meanies. Pitching is better than most people think. It is better, but the hitting still is the same. Those women on the spaceship doing nothing were more productive than the Angels today. See, J Dog says, give them a break, Todd. They're still tired from the flight to Seattle last year. I'm sorry. It's like we need to invest in better, sleeping quarters on the plane. You need thicker pillows, the neck ones, anything, because these guys get so tired. Mike Trout says, I led the Dominican to Caribbean champions and won. So I say hire me. Patrick Reel says Paris should lead off. In my opinion, Ward should be 7th or 8th in the lineup. And Grillmaster says I goobied in my car. Yeah, it was a rough night tonight. I'll go through the numbers here one last time. Angels 0 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. Rangers 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Angels left 6 men on base. They struck out 11 times. Kikuchi pitches only 79 pitches. He's got a 4.13 ERA, decent, not a number 1, but decent. And he pitched 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Takes the L. He is 0-3. Kikuchi in his 3 starts, once again, let's go over that real quick. Against Chicago, he got charged with 3, but he really gave up 1 run in that game. He only gave up 3 in St. Louis, left with a lead, took the loss. Or didn't take the loss, but took no decision. And then in Tampa Bay, 4 runs and 6 hits, and he would get the loss in that game too. So, because Detmers allowed another run. I don't know, guys. I mean, you're getting what you expect out of Kikuchi. He's going to keep you in games. It's just sad you couldn't help him out in any of these games. It's just sad he's just racking up losses at this point. Let's see. Also, unless Trout fixes his swing, he shouldn't be in the World Baseball Classic. Maybe that's why he's not the captain. You guys ever think of that? Maybe. Doctors advise the Angels they should stay away from the corner when they're tired. Corners are always 90 degrees. Albert Prohl says, Mike Trout hacked my account. It was supposed to be me. I led the Dominican to Caribbean Championship. Mario says, marry those ladies, did what they do best. Ride the rich guys to a higher place in life. Mudwater says, took a lot of punishment being an Angels fan before I found your show. Now I get to suffer with you guys. I appreciate that, Mudwater. It's always good to hear from you. And yeah, I mean, all I can say is this, guys and gals. At some point, the baseball gods will favor the Angels again. And at some point, despite Artie's tragic leadership, the Angels will have more talent to overweigh the curse of Artie Moreno and get to the postseason, whether that's the last wild card or, God forbid, they win the division. But if and when that happens, as J-Dog says, welcome to hell. But if and when that happens, people, I'm trying to give a sermon here. Don't interrupt me, J-Dog. If and when that happens, you will have probably the biggest spritz to cover the Anaheim, OC, Riverside, San Bernardino, Oceanside area. It will be a huge mess. I mean, they will have to call FEMA and the National Guard to help with the cleanup. The fans will be so elated, especially in the downtown Anaheim area, which will be the epicenter of the spritz. We will all be able to bask in each other's spritz together and enjoy the euphoria, the long wait. Our kids will finally see it. You know, an entire generation is missed out on the spritz. But one day that will happen, and we will all have just, and when the Dodgers are like, oh, who cares? You guys made it to the postseason for the first time. We'll be like, who gives a shit about your cheating for the last decade? But we're there. We're here. We're in the playoffs now. Right? It's just, when are we going to get there? It's been long enough. I mean, after this season of not making the playoffs, because we are not making the playoffs, but after the season of not making the playoffs, it will be 11 goddamn years. Such a long, long time that this team has sniffed postseason and winning baseball. But I'm telling you, the spritz will be magical, hopefully in 2026. I think, you know how Roger says, revive in 25. I say mediocre in 25. Let's get to mediocre at 25, which is 81 and 81. We get there, then we're spritzing 26. It's going to be a spritz in 26. That's what it should be. That should be on the calendar that they give to you on opening day. Spritzing in 26. That should be the theme. I'm all for that. Let's trademark that shit right now. Jason Hess says, love the show you put on today with Fernando. Love you decided not to bash Artie live. Yeah, I didn't feel like doing that. Patrick Creel says the gods will shine on us when Artie sells the team. Jeez. Don't hold your breath on that one. Jason Hess says this is third level of hell. It is. Also, Demetrios says that's the only way. At Patrick Carrero, DFA Ward, call up Rada, call up Moore, DFA Newman. 28 says it's all mental with the Angels when they play the Texas teams. Face palm. The baseball gods will smile at the Angels when the giant shark eats Artie Moreno. Spritz dripping off the big A? I think so. Patrick's still dreaming about balls in his mouth. Jason Carrillo says, are the rocks in center field spritzing too? I don't even think he's paid the water bills. We haven't seen those fountains shoot up in years. Riley Chris says, when the Angels end their playoff drought, I'll get a custom jersey that says playoffs, and the number will be whatever the year that is. Yep. Playoffs, Magic Spritz, Q Lombardi. Yeah, there's like 3 sound bites in that little take right there.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yep. Because
these nuts. Got him. Got him.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yep, 26 has the 26th in the same day as my birthday, July 26th. Let's go. Tyler says also, we're all choking on Spritz and Ohapi's nipples until Fuhrer sells this pile of shit. I love Trout to death, but giving him to Philly for a package of players, I'd be okay with it. We both need new stuff. We sure do. Also says they ever renovate Anaheim Stadium, they should go back to the original white color and do a retro modern style take on Anaheim Stadium to its roots. I agree. 28 also says if Artie doesn't sell, at least they should take out John Carpino and bring Torrey Hunter in as team president. I like that one too. Also, Jason Hess says, I'd go to jail to punch Ward in the face. J-Dog says, being a fan of this team makes me want to jump off the big A. Oh, geez. That's why they have those commercials on FanDuel. That's for sure. Also, we got balls, spritz, and ton. No, let's not do that. Running up my butt deal. No, let's not do that either. Joshua says, do you think the city will make Artie sell a team? No, they don't have that kind of power, dude. They don't. I would love it, but they don't have that kind of power. They could put pressure on him. They could make him look bad, and he can also pull out of the damn thing. But Artie's stuck. He's got the sweetest deal ever. He only pays $1 for rent and on the lease all year. $1, I ain't lying. And then you couple that with the fact that even if he wanted to move and had the money to pay, because you have to pay a fee to then leave a market. He doesn't have the fee to pay the league, number one. And number two, the league isn't going to expand or allow a move until Tampa and Oakland are set. And both those teams are nowhere close to being set. So that's where it's going right there. Also, let's see. And to top it off, the Ducks lost in overtime, didn't make the playoffs. True. Patrick also says Artie benefits from this team losing because they don't have to share any revenue. True. And Boo Boo, his mama says, I still think the coaches are doing a disservice. You're right on that one. It's time to swing away, J-Dog says. Yeah, don't jump. The coaching is telling them to swing. Let's see. Also, dude, we haven't seen that ass commercial this year. What have you been watching, Tyler? I've seen that commercial like 6 times. And by the way, if you haven't made a game this year at the Big A, in warm-ups, they play that commercial like twice. And sometimes, judging on how the game goes, they do play that during the game. It's pretty pathetic. So with that being said, I think that's it for tonight. I will say this on the way out. Just, rest in peace to our dear friend, Yvette. We talked about it earlier, and I appreciate everyone giving their thoughts. And it's one of those things too, where, typing it, don't type it. Don't type thoughts and prayers. Actually say a prayer, no matter what God you believe in. If you do or don't, say a prayer for the family, and, be compassionate too. It's something like that happens to all of us. We're going to experience loss at some point in our life, and it's those that are there when we go through these losses that mean a lot. So definitely, if you can, reach out to the family, or just say a prayer for the family and everything, because it's pretty tough. It's we'll have more on this at some point moving on, but she definitely will be missed, because like when we started this whole channel, when we started the podcast, she was one of the first ones. She was always at the tailgates, always a cool person. So definitely will be missed. And hopefully, we'll have something to cheer about, and the Angels can notch one for her, because she's a super fan, big time. So with that being said, I appreciate each and every last one of you guys for being on here. The nice things you guys have been saying and everything. Really appreciate it. And again, we'll have more coming up on that. We'll talk more Angels baseball tomorrow, because tonight they played like, and hopefully, we can keep our composure and get back at them tomorrow. And there's still a chance. I mean, as long as we got games to play, we might be able to win this series.
Come on, all right, everybody. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We've made a great effort so far. Let's just keep it up.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've come too far. There's too much to lose. We've got to just keep our composure.
Also,
well, then get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit, so it's together.
we're telling that to Ron.
And if you got to take it somewhere, take it somewhere, Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just got to get it together. Get your shit together.
Thanks again for all your kind words. Yvette was definitely a fan of the show. Botched investigation. And so, yeah. And then also, they did play like that tonight. But, yeah, definitely she will be missed moving forward. And, again, shout out to her family. We're probably going to do a little something for her coming up here once the family lets us know where that it's at. And, yeah. And then as far as the tailgate, we have a tailgate this Saturday. So hopefully you and yours can come out and support that too. And we'll be able to, have a good time there and maybe reminisce a little bit and then have a good time with Angel fans and play some games and do some stuff like that. We should have fun there at Brewheim. I'll look out for the advertisement. On our social media, we'll have that up there. You can come by at 2:00 till 5:00 or so, maybe a little after 5. But I suggest if you're going to the game on Saturday to kick it with us for a while, and then make sure you get in line to get your Millennium Falcon or whatever the hell it is, because that's going to be hard to get. So. Corey over there on TikTok gets the last comment. He says, "I was reading Ron Washington's future is questionable after this season." Well, I don't see how it can't be because he's not really managing all together right now. They're managing pretty terrible out there with the lineup decisions and the pitching decisions. And yeah, it was a terrible game, Stezio. So, all right, everybody, have a great night, and we will talk to you guys tomorrow. Let's get back at them. Hopefully, we can even up this series. And yeah, one game at a time. Let's go 1-0 tomorrow.